and welcome back to the Citizen channel. You're all staying safe and well. And our preview show as we look forward, yes, it's back. It's back at last. We had a rest last year. We decided to get knocked out quite early, didn't we, by West Ham? Although we should have really won that game. I'm still a bit bitter about that all the way down there. Of course, I'm talking Carabao Cup, aren't I? It's our cup. It's nobody else's. Well, it's Liverpool's cup at the moment, isn't it? I can't say that, but I could say it for a few years anyway. Yes, so we've got the visit of Chelsea to the Etihad on the 9th of November 2022, an 8 p.m. kickoff. It's on Sky Sports so we're going to have a look at that today and see what's in store for us. Please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notification. All these blogs are coming out. I do City past, present and forever, of course. And it'd be great to have you on board if you're not already, and please spread the word. And if you can, make an old City fan very happy. Just press that thumb button, that thumbs up button, or that like button. I mean, if you've got Twitter or YouTube yourselves, you know how it's just nice to get appreciated, isn't it? So that'll be great. Right, yes, we're going to look at Chelsea. We've got a little look at the last time we played Chelsea it was the Coca-Cola Cup then. Yeah, I got a little scrapbook from 1993, which was the last time we did it. So we'll have a look at that in a second. Yes, let's have a look at the odds first of all. The odds to win the competition. Please, I don't condone gambling when the fun stops. To win the Carabao Cup, City are 3-1 favourites. No change there. We're always favourites. Liverpool are 8-1 second favourites. Arsenal 10-1 and Chelsea 12-1. The way Arsenal are playing at the moment, I think they should be a little bit short. So some good value there. The match odds themselves, City are 1-2 on. Interesting. Chelsea are 9-2 and a draw is 7-2. That's over 90 minutes, of course. Previously, yes, the last time the League Cup, as I say, I've got a little scrapbook from the 1990 to about 1995, which I could never figure out why. I was trying to figure out what I was doing and why I did it, etc., etc. So, just having a look at that. The last time we played them in the League Cup at home, we've played them at Stamford Bridge fairly recently. Well, the last time at home was in 1993 on the 26th of October, a 1-0 win. There'll be some images coming up on the screen. A massive crowd, yes, a massive crowd of 16,713, and I was one of them with my lad and my daughter. I'm not too sure. I found 2 tickets, and there should be probably 3 knocking about. It's family stand anyway, so I was with the kids. And of course, the Swales Out campaign was in full flow, and we had a newish manager, didn't we, in Brian Horton, who was manfully trying to do his job despite all this anger, if you like, and that's what it was. And it was an 82nd minute David White goal that won the game for us and took us into the last 16. And dreams of Wembley, as we always did in those days. We always dreamt about Wembley. It hardly ever happened or never happened, but we always used to dream. And just look at the scrapbook, just see what Horton said after the game in his little match report in the Manchester Evening News when he used to give a little summary. He said, "That was the most important result of my time as manager at Main Road," he says. "We are through to the last 16, the Coca-Cola Cup, with every chance of making further progress in a competition which carries automatic European qualification." The dreams we had those days. We passed the ball well at times, particularly in the first half, but our build-up was too slow and we were never able to really hurt them. Substitutions either work or they don't, but we had pushed Vonk up front, old Vonky up front in a recent reserve team match, and he scored and looked a handful, so he nodded it back across for David White to put the ball in the net. And just having a look at the team that day, the form guide on the team, Creighton got 6 out of 10. This is from Paul Hintz, I think. Yeah, Paul Hintz for the Manchester Evening News. Tony Creighton got 6 out of 10. Edgehill got 7. Phelan got 8. Curl got 7. Kernigan, got some great players, he got 7. McMahon got a 6. Lomas got a 6. Flitcroft got a 6. White got a 6. Quinn got a 6. And Sharon got a 5. So he was our worst player on the night. Subs, Vonk got a 7. And Groningen was not used in this one, and neither was Dibble. So you remember Groningen? I sort of remember him. Not too much of him, though. And the man of the match, based on those scores, it was, of course, Terry Phelan. And the comment was, "A sparkling display in defence and attack from City's brilliant fullback." We've got that Terry Phelan, haven't we? That's for sure. So there you go. That's last time we played them at our place in the League Cup, or as it was then, the Coca-Cola Cup, and it's the Carabao Cup now, of course. Right, who's in charge? Well, there's no VAR until, I think, the semi-finals. That's what it was last season. I think it's the same this season. We've got Mr. Chuckles as referee, Simon Hooper, always smiling, Simon. And his line-alls are Can and Holmes, and his fourth official is Mr. Tierney. So we don't have to worry about the dreaded VAR. So how are Chelsea doing? Well, it's funny, isn't it? They're having a funny season so far. Sacked the manager early doors, of course, and brought in Harry Potter. Was it Harry Potter? Yeah. Although he's got more like Brian Potter, isn't he, in fairness? But yeah, I'm talking Graham Potter, answer, of course. You'll see the TV reference there. My apologies for that. That's my little TV coming through. I do like Graham Potter. I've liked Graham Potter. Him and Graham Potter and the guy at Newcastle now. I've always liked them. I've always thought either of those would have made good future England managers. So yeah, not jealous that Chelsea got him, but he's took on a big challenge there, hasn't he? And it's an interesting. I'm just recording this after they've lost to Arsenal, of course, at Stamford Bridge, which didn't do us any favours, but on the face of what I've read and what I've seen, Arsenal thoroughly deserved to win that game. But I think for Mr. Potter, I think Chelsea was always going to be a big challenge with big players, an owner who is obviously finding his feet. He could turn into another Abramovich, couldn't, the way he's going, sacking managers, etc. So you never know how long Mr. Potter's going to last. But so far, it's not that bad. As I say, it certainly wouldn't have gone down well getting beat by Arsenal today, a London derby. But he's been trying to put Chelsea on an even keel. He's had a few problems. Obviously, he's not been able to play expansive football. I don't think. I think he's been a bit more defensive as he acclimatises. Still, let's face it, one of the biggest club jobs in Europe, and it still is. And he's got a lot of big name stars that don't really, on the face of it, gel together that well in the team. I'll have more of that in a moment. So far, if you look at the stats, since the 8th of September when he took charge, Chelsea was sixth then, just played 6 games, 1 3 draw, 1 lost 2. They'd lost their first Champions League game at Zagreb and sat bottom. I think that was more or less the end of the manager of the Zagreb game. In the league, after 13 games, now they've dropped to 7, so that's after the Arsenal game. That's before this afternoon's game. I'm not too sure who else might affect where they are. But they've won 6, drawn 3 and lost 4 now. So not great. Doesn't look too good. And obviously that 1-0 defeat to Arsenal didn't help. Better in the Champions League, though. Is obviously since that first defeat, Potter's took charge and got unbeaten in the last 5 games, winning 4 and drawing 1 to finish and win Group E. So that's fine. So they've done that. And with a squad of egos that he has sort of inherited. Add to this the fact he's got some key players out as well, hasn't he? He's got, including people like Fofana, James, Kante, Chilwell are all out at the moment with fairly long-term injuries. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think he'll risk too much at the Etihad as far as this is concerned. A lot of people think, well, he's not going to win the Champions League. People are saying he's not going to win the Premier League title. So he'll go for the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. I'm not particularly thinking he will go for the Carabao Cup. So I expect he'll field a few youngsters in this. Although some of his youngsters are not a bad batch, are they? And so we will still have to be at it to get through this. But as ever, I think the match will be decided by us, by Pep, because that's all that matters in these games. As far as City are concerned, we can beat anyone on our day. It depends what team Pep puts out. He's making a lot of changes at the moment. I do expect another raft of changes for this. He's made 8 changes for the last couple of games, and I don't expect anything less for this one. So after the Fulham game, all the subs, literally, if fit, I think we'll start this game. Ortega was a sub, Diaz, Laporte, Gomez, Foden, Palmer, Mahrez and Lewis. Of course, Foden did get a game, and I expect them to play. The only one probably doubtful is Lewis, but it's surely a reward, Lewis, after that last game with a start in this. And Haaland's an interesting one. I just think, obviously, he'll be tired after that little workout he had. And will he start him again or will he put him on the bench? I think he's going to be the interesting one. So really, if you look at those substitutions, it only leaves literally 3 players to play who started in the game against Fulham, of course. So, that'll be very interesting. So of those, what 3 players could we be talking about? Well, probably the ones who've not been overused too much, like Stones, who's been injured. Gundogan's not been overly used, and Alvarez, of course, has been underutilised. So that could be your three. That could be your three to add to the substitutions, which obviously, once you put them in the line and look at the positions, it gets a little bit more complicated because we're over the top in certain areas and not in others. The only real clash I can see is Stones and Lewis for right back. Can't see anything else than that. And I'm sure, as I said, I think Lewis will be rewarded. But then obviously, where does that leave Stones? But we still end up with a front three that is a bit of a problem on the basis that two of that front three aren't quite at it at the moment. But does Pep have many options? So this is my City 11. Let me know what you think of this. This is what I'm going for. And then I'll just give you a quick summing up of my reason. I'm going to go Ortega to start. This has got to play in goal, of course. And then I'm going to go Lewis at right back with obviously a big question mark on Stones who could play there. Then you're going to get Diaz, Laporte, and Gomez. So I think that's fairly set. I don't think any problems with that. And then he's going to rest Rodri, I think, and put Gundogan there. I mean, in theory, if Rodri's fit enough, as I say, we're nearly at the World Cup now, he could start there. But again, why not try Stones there as well? Stones could do a job, I think, in front of the back four as well. So certainly against Chelsea. So Stones has a couple of options, either right back or as a sort of DM. And it might be interesting to see Pep sort of experiments with that. And then you got Foden, Palmer, Mahrez, Alvarez, and Grealish. So there you are. That's that dreaded front three that hasn't always worked. But I can't see both, as I said, I can't see both Stones and Gundogan starting. If Lewis is to play, and I think Lewis will be rewarded. I'd be very surprised if Lewis doesn't start this game. Ireland will start if he's fit, and I think he'll start him and then play again against Brentford, and then he's got a big rest anyway for the World Cup, hasn't he? But I think he may also be inclined to keep him on the bench, and if he does, we're a bit limited up front, so. Obviously, Mahrez and Grealish will come back as starters with Alvarez in the middle. That seems the obvious thing. We've got a wild card, of course. This guy who just scored 4 for the under-21s against United, Bogus, might be an interesting one, but I don't think Pep will do that. I doubt it very, very much. Anyway, I think it'll be interesting. Anyway, that was my 11. If we get 8, I'll be happy. But I think a lot of it, as well, as I say, it's usually how we're going to do, but it will also be based on how serious Potter's going to take this game. As say, Chelsea are not flying at the moment. Are they going to take this competition serious? I'm going to quote a gentleman in a minute who thinks they will. But if Chelsea go strong, I expect that 11 to do okay against what is a struggling Chelsea at the moment. And if they do play some youngsters, then I'll be disappointed if we don't win convincingly, in all fairness. So please let me know your thoughts on your 11. And as I said, it's just someone else's views. If you look at the November City Digital magazine, Andy Morrison's been doing predictions all season. He's got 1 or 2 right. He's doing okay. I always find him a little bit negative, but he's put his old wise head on. So Andy Morrison gave his prediction for this game. So I'm just going to read out from what he said. He said, "This will be a tight game. Graham Potter knows that. Realistically, a domestic trophy is his best bet of winning silverware this season. I don't see Chelsea challenging for the title or the Champions League. Not this season anyway. So the Carabao Cup and FA Cup are Chelsea's likely targets." Yeah, I think he'll give up on the Carabao as well. I like Potter. He said I do as well, Andy. He thinks outside of the box and he started really well at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, he's okay. He likes to target a team's weaknesses and try to exploit it, and he likes his team to keep possession. It will be a fascinating game and one that I believe will go right to the wire with City edging home on penalties. So Andy's prediction is 1-1. City 1, Chelsea 1 with City to win on penalties. Yeah, I think what Andy's saying there, I agree what he's saying about Potter, but I think he's struggling to put his actual style on this Chelsea team at the moment. So, I don't particularly agree with what he's saying. He does think outside of the box, but as I say, he's not quite working with the team he's got to play with at the moment. And of course, for me, they're giving up a lot of possession in games. They gave up a lot of possession against Arsenal, and they'll have to give up a lot of possession against us, of course. And I don't think they'll have any alternative but to do that. I don't think they can compete with City on that basis. So he's going for a 1-1 and City to win on penalties. Personally, I'm going to go, as I say, if he plays a stronger team and not too many kids, I'll go for a tight game. I'll go for a 1-0 or a 2-1 or even a 3-2 if it's a lively game. That'd be interesting, but I expect more than that if he does play 4, 5 or 6 of the youngsters or something like that. So there you go. That's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Check out my odds show as well, where we look for the value on this, and there always is a little bit more value on these one-off cup games. Always on the basis that you don't particularly know what sort of team us and the opponents are going to put out, which say we can more or less decide on Pep, I think. But obviously, it's going to be very interesting to see what side Chelsea put out. After the player ratings and talking point show will be available, of course, on the Thursday. Yeah, Thursday morning for the player ratings show, and then Thursday mid-afternoon for the talking point show as well. So join me for that. And then we'll look forward, of course, to the last game of season 22-23 part 1 with the home tie against Brentford. Let me know your thoughts, guys. It'd be great to hear from you. Until we meet again, I ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Bye for now.